Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Zoltan Simone, your host, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to dial in a jerkbait. Why dial in your jerkbait, you may ask? Well, not all jerkbaits are created equal right out of the package. Some say suspending, some say floating, some say sinking. They don't always do exactly that, so sometimes a little finagling is required to get it to do what it is that you want it to do. One of the things I also do to my jerkbaits is I change out the stock hooks. I use the Owner treble stinger, and it's a pretty good hook. There's tons of great hooks out there. A lot of jerkbaits come with good hooks, but sometimes they don't. So switch it out to keep consistency. So the things you'll need are a jerkbait. Picked this up today. It's brand new, never opened it. You'll need some wire cutters. I'll show you why here in a minute. You'll need some split ring pliers. Right, has the little thing in the front. You'll need something to cut some braid. I have an X-Acto knife. You'll need some braided line. I got 30-pound test. I recommend 20 to 30-pound test for this application that I'm going to show you. You'll need some split rings if you're not going to use the ones on the bait, and I'll show you exactly what I mean here in a minute. And then obviously some aftermarket treble hooks. You also need a deep sink or a bathtub or something that you can fill up with some water, because we're going to test the jerkbait and make sure that it does what we want in the water column. Okay, so let's open this up. So this is a Yo-Zuri 3DB, as you saw, and it says it's suspending and that it should have a depth of 1 meter, I thought it said. Yeah, 1 meter. So that's about 3 feet. So right out of the package, drop it right in. Okay. So as you can see, this bait sinks. And it says suspending, but it's sinking. So that's not really an issue because of what we're going to do to it right now. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do is just simply, we're going to remove the split ring and the stock hook. So we're just going to take the split ring off of the stock hook and the bait itself. So the split ring is by itself and the hook is by itself. So one of the reasons that I do what I'm about to do is split rings are a pain in the ass to deal with. Okay. So we got the split ring off of the bait. Okay, hook's by itself, bait's by itself. Okay, we're going to keep the split ring, and I'm going to show you exactly why we're taking the split ring off and what we're going to replace it with. Okay. As you can see, the split ring has virtually zero ability to twist. It binds up, okay? That's what gives the fish the leverage to throw a treble hook bait. We're gonna use this braided line to make a braid ring. And the reason we're gonna do that, I'll show you here, is because you'll have over 360-degree rotation on that hook and virtually zero leverage for the fish throw it. So you'll need about 9 inches of good working length. Okay, so you're going to take your 9 inches of braided line and you're going to fold it directly in half, making the 2 tag ends perfectly equal, like so. Pinch them in your index finger with about 1/2 inch, maybe a little more. Okay, crease the bottom. Then you want to fold this up inside your index finger, like that. Okay. Then you're going to take your bait without a hook on it, slide that over the long end, and just let that hang there below, like so. Grab your aftermarket hook, drop that on, let that hang below, and continue to pinch this through your index finger. Okay, then put your finger through like that, pinch it just below your fingers, and then you want to fold this down in on itself and create another loop. Just like that. Okay, then you're going to put that loop over both the tag ends. Just like that. Okay, and pinch the tag ends. And you want to pull on the hook. Cinch this down as tight as you can. Then you pull the tag ends until you get that about the circumference and diameter of a split ring. Okay, then you take these two long tag ends, do 1 and 2 overhand knots. You don't have to make them super tight, just snug them down there at the bottom. Okay, and this is the important part. Be careful here, don't hurt yourself. You want to pull on this hook pretty hard, and that will tighten those two overhand knots from the bottom there. Then you just want to trim your two tag ends. Okay. I just doubled up 30-pound test, so if you're questioning the strength of this, it's just as strong as a split ring. And as you can see, okay, there's literally tons of room for that hook to spin around. If a fish is fighting, he's got zero leverage to throw that hook. I mean, look how many times you can twist that, and then compare it back to the split ring. Oh, look, oh, lines up right away. That's it. So this is why I do that. So I'm gonna take this split ring off and do the same thing to this hook, and then I'm gonna show you what I do with the split rings and how we're gonna get this to do what I'd like it to do in the water, which is just suspend. With this technique here, you can achieve a floating bait, a suspending bait, or a sinking bait. So once you get this little knot technique down, you might agree that it is much easier to deal with these braided lines than it is these split rings. So I've already done this to all the jerkbaits I own. That's why I bought this jerkbait, so I could just show you what I do from scratch right off the get-go. First thing I do is just drop it in the water and see what it does. Now that I've got both hooks tied on with braided line, I'm going to show you what I do with these split rings. So obviously I've removed weight from the bait, and there's air trapped inside the braided line. So I suspect this bait's going to float now. Let's see what it does. See if I can shake some of the air out of the braided line. It usually takes a minute for it to soak up with water, and it will change the buoyancy of the line itself. I've done a lot of experimenting with the jerkbaits in the water here to discover that once the braided line is saturated with water, that it's not as buoyant. Okay, so this bait's obviously floating. Now I'll show you what I do with the split ring. So, for now, I'm going to hang this split ring right over the hook like that. Okay? So I'm going to use the split ring as weight. And I'm putting it on the front hook because I desire this bait to have a nose down position. And I think I like it to, if not suspend, ever so slightly float. So we're going to put it back in the water and see what it does now. Wow. That is almost perfect. Alright, as you can see, I got it to do exactly what I wanted it to do. So, now that I have the bait weighted exactly how I'd like, take it back over here. This is where the convenience of the braided ring comes into play. Okay, I'm going to take the split ring off the hook. Now I'm going to cut the hook off. Now, we have our hook. And we have our split ring. And I'm going to put the split ring right over the shank of the hook. Just like that. Now I'm gonna tie the hook back onto the bait, and we'll drop it in the water again and see if it's what we want. See if I can get a cool shot of that for you. Okay, final product should look like that. All right, the split ring's not going anywhere. It's not in the way or impeding any hook set. All right, we got our dialed in jerkbait here. Let's see what it does in the water. Alright, as you can see, I got the bait to do exactly what I wanted it to do, which is just ever so slightly float, if not suspend. I showed you that I had some wire cutters there in the beginning. What I would have used those for is if I put that split ring on and it started to fall at a faster rate than I wanted it to. So what I would have done is just trim off a little tiny bit of the split ring. They're doubled up on themselves, and you can take those wire cutters and trim off just a little bit. And I'm telling you, you can dial in the weight exactly to what you want. So if you want the bait to fall, just put on both split rings. And then if it's sinking too fast, just trim the split rings until you get it dialed in just right. Anyway, I hope this video helps you out. That's how I dial in my jerkbaits. It's definitely helped me a lot. That braided line ring you could actually do on your crankbaits as well. It should help you there. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment if you got something to share. Please share this video if you think someone else will like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.